How's it going? Hope you're doing as good as I'm doing today. Pretty successful day, not gonna lie. If you saw yesterday's, I was in for another pretty tiring day just because of how much effort I've been putting in and how much fatigue I built up on accident because I went to... How's it going? Hope you're doing as good as I'm doing today. Pretty successful day, not gonna lie. If you saw yesterday's, I was in for another pretty tiring day just because of how much effort I've been putting in and how much fatigue I built up on accident because I went too hard on my Snatch day the other day. A lot of other variables, but we pushed through and we made it. This is why I have the program written out right now to where I do my snatches easy on today and go harder on bench. So the snatches went well. I think the form was actually pretty good considering how tired my core was. And bench definitely went well. I think I should have had a little bit more energy, but again, a lot of different variables. I was just fatigued. So I got another bench day in a couple days during this peak week where I'll get to try it again, and I'll go super hard. I ended up getting 305 for 5, which is really good. Last program cycle I did, I got 295 for 5. The goal was obviously 6, but that's just where I ended up because I did 295 and I had a lot left more in me, so I just wanted to make sure I put in that last extra set. Found out I was actually accidentally close gripping my bench up until 295 because the bars at the crunch I was working at for a couple weeks is different when it comes to the length of like the middle smooth part, if you know what I mean, just before the grate starts. But whatever, we put in the good work and put in progress. I'm happy with the effort. Physically, I can give it a very solid 8.2. Yeah, that sounds about right. No, actually, we're just going to make it a flat 8. That was what I thought first, so I don't want to second guess it. Flat 8. Because, again, too much fatigue for my snatches to feel as good as I wanted them to, but I didn't jump forward. I locked out well. I committed. I got all my sets done. So that is what is important. I put in the effort that needed to be done and got the form where it needed to stay at. My standard did not have to change, even though I was tired when it came to the technique. So that's what I love about the sport. Even if I'm fucked up and tired and fatigued, I can still keep the standard for the technique at the same that I normally want it to be at. And then the bench felt really good. Again, it's just a matter of, it was, especially with how tired my back is from like how much I was driving yesterday's squats, and then the snatches the day before that. It was kind of hard to get a good drive off the bench, but shit goes how it goes, Gotta just take it with a grain of salt, like I say, and be happy that I got the chance to do it again this week, and I didn't injure myself. I did make progress, even though it didn't feel as intuitive as I would have wanted it to. So lots and lots of positives, even though I am super tired. Another positive, I got a pub sub. So fuck it. I get to feel good tonight. If you've ever had that hot honey sauce, holy shit. The hot honey sauce is so good. If you have a Publix nearby, you gotta go get that shit. It is so good. But mentally, I'll just... I'll give mental an 8.2. I think that one's more fair, just to be slightly more, because my mental was definitely up. I was feeling good, had a lot of good homie moments. People were just kind of uplifting me today, which is always a really, really great thing to have when you feel like shit. I actually got a homie of mine at the gym where like he kind of just fucks with me the entire time and acts like he's a dick for fun. But it's like one of those relationships where it's like the unspoken bond of positivity when like everything you say to each other seems negative. I don't know how many people can relate to that, but I love it, and I know the guy is a great guy and he's strong as fuck, so I respect regardless. But anyway, sorry, but the energy's kind of low. I don't mean to ramble on, but because of all this shit, I'm just going to emphasize the absolute imperativeness that your rest days hold, because you won't be seeing me tomorrow. I will be gracefully sleeping until noon, if at all possible. I hope my body gives myself the wiggle room to just say, fuck it, we're not going to wake up at 8 a.m. like we normally do. Just sleep until noon and don't fucking move, because I got no school tomorrow, got no homework due, got no gym. I have no reason to fucking lift a finger. And I get it. Sometimes you get on a rest day and you're sitting there kind of itching to actually do something because you're so used to grinding that it feels like you should be doing something, and then that you're wasting your time when you're just sitting around for a whole day. But keep in mind that small moment of time that you take to relax, and even if it feels like you should be doing something, just allowing your body that opportunity to fully recover, even if mentally you feel better than that, it'll get you a long way. I'll tell you that right fucking now. Because like, let's say you feel like you just want to do something on your rest day and you feel great and you go in and you have a pretty decent workout, or you have a decent productive day on any work you want to end up doing. The next day you go in where you were supposed to hit a certain standard that you were expecting to hit after a full rest day will not be the same, you know? Just as much as you need that physical rebound to be able to do that workout as positively and effectively as you can, with anything in life, mental burnout is so goddamn sensitive. You know, we work so much and do so many things, and we try to have passion in as many things as we can, but realistically, like, let's say you have 3 life passions at the moment. You're not going to be able to put in 100% into all of them. You're not even going to be able to get close. It sucks, but that's just how it is. You either choose one and make it your entire life, or you have a bunch of shit that you do that you try your best at and you put in the best effort, but you're never going to be able to do 100% what progress you would be able to have if you only focus on that one individual thing. That's the crux of being mortal, you know? You got to accept the fact that you're either going to be really good at a lot of things, or you can be the best at one thing, if that's how disciplined you are. You know, of course, genetics is a big thing, and the way you grow up, the opportunities you have, whatever. But just in your own individual little bubble, in your own mind, you try to be the best you that you can be, you know? So for me, I just prefer to have a lot of things that I love to do. I don't have a shit ton of passions, but, like, you know, I got some good couple things that I truly love to do every day that I make sure I'm consistent with. And while if I put all of my life into weightlifting every day, and I weighed every meal, and I slept the same amount of hours, and I never saw anybody, and I just, like, went to the gym for hours and hours every day and just putting in the effort I can and perfectly calculating everything, sure, I'd be, like, the fucking best. But everybody's got a different standard for how much they can really put their passion into a passion, you know? Of course I want to lift weights that I see the Olympic lifters on stage do, like Lasha or Liu Xiaojun. Like, that's how we get inspired in the first place to try it out. Or Clarence Kennedy. Like, he's definitely my biggest inspiration when I was growing up to get into it. But it's okay if I don't reach those standards, because I'm only trying to be the best me that I want to be, you know? So, like, if I put in the effort that Clarence Kennedy or Liu Xiaojun or Lasha put in, but I'm not actually doing it in the way that I want to put in effort, then it's not going to be fun. It becomes a job at that point. It becomes obligational. And that happens so much to where people have these amazing talents and these awesome passions that they'll end up just putting on the side burner to just kind of dwindle out, and they kind of touch on it every now and then, like once a month or some shit, because they like it, but they just burnt out so hard so early in life. And, you know, so, you got to imagine, like, if you put in the effort of someone that you look up to in that way, and you do it in an obligational way where you're just grinding yourself into a fucking, like, you're just grinding yourself so hard until you just have nothing left, you can put in 40 years worth of your own energy in what other people could put in 5. That's just how it is. You know, everybody's different. You got to understand that, because, like, this is why when you look up to people, the point isn't to compare yourself to them. It's to look at them through a different perspective. It gives you a new lens on life. You know, like when I look at Clarence Kennedy, I'm not sitting there being like, I have to hit the 190, 195 kilo snatch one day. That's my all. If I don't hit it, then I'm a failure at weightlifting. No, I don't give a shit. I just love doing it. I want to keep going and see how far I can get there, you know. And he's enhanced. He used supplements openly. So realistically, in most cases, I'm not going to be able to get that much weight over my head, but that's okay. And who knows? Maybe I will. This is the difference between living with expectation and hopes, you know? I try to live with as little expectation as possible, but with as high a hope as I can. Because it's just being okay that it's not going to work out if it doesn't, but never going into it with the mindset that you're going to fail. I always do a lift with the idea that I'm going to crush it, that I'm going to do it to the best of my fucking ability. I just don't imagine a limit on it, you know, in the moment. And then I do it, and then when I get to reflect back on my progress, like today with my bench, I look back and I'm like, okay, I wanted more. I next time I'll probably be able to kill it harder than I did today. So I'll take that new perspective I have of myself and grow off of it, you know? And so it's so important that you look at all those things and really take pride in the effort that you're putting in and learn from your own experiences instead of just comparing yourself to other people, as well as giving yourself the accommodations that your own standards need. You know, again, some people need 3 rest days a week. Some people need 5. You never know. Like, people who are just starting, I wouldn't recommend you work out more than 3 days a week. You know, you got to take it easy so that your body can slowly get into it. Like, whenever you first start, you can't, like, sit on the toilet properly because everything's fucking burning and dying. I had so many coaches growing up telling me, like, you just got to get back in the gym and work out twice as hard the next day because it'll get the lactic acid moving and it'll get you all pumped up and you just got to mind over matter. And I'm like, to a point, sure. But I should not be going as hard as I did that first day. I should be doing, like, minimal stretches just to get the muscles warmed up and loose so that I can come back and put in the effort on a day where I actually have the strength for it. Because if you go in right after using everything you had, of course you're not going to be able to put in 100%. And of course you're going to be disappointed. So it makes sense that people burn out so fucking easily. So just because somebody's working out 7 days a week, 365 days a year, don't think that you're any lesser because of that. Just look at your own experiences and think, did I go up a percentage today? You know, did I improve? And don't just make that a material thing. Don't just look at the weights that go over your head or the weight on the weight scale. Look at the whole accumulation of what you've trained for and what you've done. And if any one small, seemingly insignificant thing is making even like 0.1% progress, you made progress. You know, you either gets me going. I'm sorry to rant so much, but obviously you never want to digress in other areas. But if you are at least making the most minimal progress possible and you are consistent, you are disciplined, and you are passionate, then God damn it, just give it the time. You know, be patient and give yourself the credit along the way so that when you get there, it feels so much more deserved, you know, because you deserve every ounce of credibility for the work that you put in. So if you compare yourself to all these other people and don't give yourself the rest that you truly deserve for the training that you're putting in for your body's and your own mind's individual standards for how much stress it can take, whether it's physical or mental, you know, you're not going to appreciate it. And you're going to end up like never being satisfied with what you do in your life. And I get it. Like, some people will grind and they're just like, I'll never be satisfied. I never want to be satisfied. I get that. You know, you always want to have that hunger. But I like being able to be, this is what I kind of mean by like living in the present, is like, I'm never always satisfied. I wake up and I'm like, I got to do these things today. These are what I want to hit. If I go beyond them, wonderful. And so I like to try to be satisfied by the end of every day, you know, because everybody always thinks of it in the long term. And they're like, I never want to be satisfied. I want my whole life to just be a grind. And I always want to be hungry. And I'm like, I get it. I get the grind and the adrenaline, whatever. But I like living in just this present day, because the past doesn't exist and the future does not exist. The past is what we reflect on and the future is what we hope for, you know? So live in the present and just enjoy the moment while you got it. And then otherwise just keep living, you know? I woke up with hunger and I'm going to bed with satisfaction because I fucking killed it today. That's my whole point. So take it with a grain of salt. That's just me. But you gotta fucking rest, you know? Give your body the break it needs, because I'm telling you, that thing might be screaming more than you know. So I'm gonna go sleep for as long as I can tomorrow. I got homework due tonight, unfortunately, but we'll get it done no matter what. We gotta stay consistent, and consistency leads to discipline, and discipline leads to passion. That's the way I look at it. So I'm gonna keep it going. Once I'm done, I will be fully satisfied. I go to bed, I sleep for 12 hours, I game all day tomorrow. I have fun. So that's just the way I like to look at it. So let me know how the lifts have been going, life's been going. Love hearing about it. And just take care of yourself. Keep that rest up and give your body the break it deserves, and give yourself the credit that you deserve along the way. I will be back in the day after tomorrow for some heavy fucking clean and jerks. See ya.